Right now, somewhere in your body, a cell is dividing. It doesn't know today's date. It doesn't know your New Year's resolution. It's simply following instructions written by what you did yesterday, and the day before that. 10 years from now, your body will be the sum of 1,000 small decisions you're making this week without even noticing. That should terrify you a little. It should also set you free. You tend to think of your body as a fixed thing. A face in the mirror. A number on a scale. Something that just happens to you. But the real answer is far stranger. Your body is not a photograph. It's a process. Every organ you have is being quietly rebuilt, cell by cell, on a schedule you never agreed to but are constantly voting on. Think about your skeleton. You assume it's solid, permanent, unchanging. It isn't. Your entire skeleton replaces itself roughly every 10 years. The bone in your hip today did not exist in this exact form a decade ago. So the question isn't whether your body will change by then. It already will have. The only real question is what shape that change takes, and who's steering it. Here's where it gets interesting. In the early 2000s, molecular biologist Elizabeth Blackburn began studying something almost nobody had heard of: telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of your chromosomes. Think of them like the plastic tips on shoelaces. Every time a cell divides, those tips get a little shorter. Eventually they wear down so much the cell can no longer divide safely. That's aging, at the most basic biological level. But Blackburn found something nobody expected. Chronic stress shortened telomeres faster. Long-term unmanaged stress, sitting in a body, day after day, was aging cells years ahead of schedule. Her research helped win a Nobel Prize, not because stress was a new idea, but because she proved it left a physical fingerprint on your DNA. Your bad week isn't just a bad week. It's a biological event. So what's the opposite of that fingerprint? What actually protects you? Anthropologist Herman Pontzer spent years living alongside the Hadza, a hunter-gatherer community in Tanzania, measuring their energy expenditure with the same tools used on elite athletes. What he found surprised almost everyone in his field. The Hadza, who walk for miles every day, didn't burn dramatically more total calories than sedentary Westerners. Their bodies adapted. They spent that movement energy differently, funneling it away from inflammation and stress response and toward maintenance and repair. That single finding rewired how scientists think about exercise. Movement isn't just about burning calories. It's a signal. It tells your body which systems are worth investing in. Skip that signal for years, and your body quietly stops investing in the systems movement would have protected. Immune regulation, cardiovascular efficiency, even mood chemistry. You feel this already, don't you? The version of you after a week of walking every day. Calmer, clearer, slightly more patient with people who annoy you. That's not a coincidence. That's your biology responding to a signal you sent it. Now zoom out further. Around the world, researcher and explorer Dan Buettner identified small pockets where people routinely live past 90, sharp-minded and mobile, without gyms, supplements, or six-pack abs. Sardinia, Okinawa, Loma Linda, California. He called them blue zones. What he found wasn't a secret pill. It was a pattern of small, boring, repeated choices. Walking to see friends instead of calling them. Gardens tended daily instead of occasionally. Meals eaten slowly, in company, stopping before fullness rather than after it. None of that sounds impressive. That's exactly the point. Your brain wants a dramatic answer, a 12-week transformation, a miracle habit. But the body doesn't respond to drama. It responds to repetition. A single gym session changes nothing measurable. A single healthy dinner changes nothing measurable. But do either of those things 4,000 times over 10 years, and you've built an entirely different cardiovascular system, a different inflammatory baseline, a different brain. Here's the part most people get wrong, though. They think discipline is about willpower. Grit your teeth, force yourself, white-knuckle through it. But willpower is a terrible long-term strategy. It's a limited resource, and it runs out by evening, which is exactly when most of your unhealthy decisions happen. What actually works is something quieter, environment design. People who stay consistently active rarely rely on motivation. They rely on friction. They make the healthy option slightly easier to reach and the unhealthy option slightly harder. Keep walking shoes by the door. Keep the couch a little less inviting. Put the vegetables at eye level in the fridge and the snacks on a high shelf. Small physical nudges, repeated daily, outperform heroic bursts of willpower almost every time. There's also a psychological trap hiding in all of this. It's called the flatline illusion. Because your body changes so slowly day to day, it feels like nothing is happening. You skip one workout and think it made no difference. You eat one poor meal and think it made no difference. Individually, you're right. But you're not measuring individual days. You're measuring a slope. And slopes only become visible after years, by which point the direction is very hard to reverse. This works both ways, though. That's the hopeful part. The same slow slope that can quietly wear you down can just as quietly build you up. You don't need a perfect day. You need a slightly better than average decade. Skip a workout, and the slope barely bends. Show up most days, most weeks, most years, and the compounding becomes almost unfair in your favor. So what does the version of you in 10 years actually need from you today? Not perfection. Consistency at a level you can sustain without hating your life. Movement most days, even brief. Sleep protected like it matters, because it regulates nearly every hormone tied to repair and appetite. Relationships maintained in person, not just in text threads, because loneliness measurably raises inflammatory markers. Stress noticed and managed, not suppressed and stored, because Blackburn's cells are always listening. And food treated as information for your body, not just fuel or comfort. None of that requires becoming a different person. It requires becoming a slightly more consistent version of the person you already are. Picture the two paths side by side. In one, small neglect repeats for a decade. skipped walks, skipped sleep, suppressed stress, isolation quietly deepening. The body doesn't fight back loudly. It just slowly stops investing in itself, the way Ponce's data showed it would. In the other path, small maintenance repeats for a decade. Nothing dramatic. Just walks taken. Sleep protected. Friends seen. Stress named instead of buried. The body notices that signal too, and it invests accordingly. 10 years from now, one version of you will move through the world a little more easily than the other. Stairs won't be a small negotiation with your knees. Mornings won't start with dread about your own energy. That version isn't the result of a single decision made today. It's the result of 1,000 ordinary ones, most of them too small to even remember making. Right now, somewhere in your body, a cell is dividing. It still doesn't know today's date. But for the first time since you started reading this, it might actually know what you're planning to do about it.